It's Holly here from Your Past is a Gift. Okay, so you would have noticed going through the videos that I have, done some videos specifically towards dementia, because it's something that when I started this work with the elderly, I was thrown in to this job with a lady that had dementia, and I knew nothing about it. I knew absolutely nothing about dementia. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what was going on in her mind or how she was viewing the world, or how, so I couldn't quite relate to, well, what's the best way, to interact with her? What am I trying to achieve with her that's for her benefit? Not for mine, because I'm there to care for her, but what was going to be the best for her? What was my purpose, being there? And so I've spent months actually studying dementia, and it's all on top, it's not I'm not on the scientific level of it or anything, but it's whatever courses are out there that have been free. Like if you're really interested, through the University of Tasmania, they have a course. It's a free 9-week online course, and they will give you as much information as they can for you to understand it, from the point of view of what happens in the brain, how the disease attacks the brain and what happens to the brain as it progresses. It talks to you about the actual person, how it affects the actual person, and of course how it affects everyone around, everyone that is in touch with this person, that's in contact with this person. So whether it's family, whether it's the community, it's how it affects everyone around them, because it's not just the person that's affected by the disease, but it affects everyone that they know. So, and I've become very passionate about it because I understand, as the disease progresses and as I've watched it, and you see the person, and I hear so many people, that the person's not there anymore, that it's not the same person, that person's gone, because there'll be days where that person can't recognize their own family. They can't recognize their own reflection. They'll look at themselves and have no idea that that's them when they're looking at themselves. It gets to that degree. And so, the people around them don't understand that, yes, it's the disease, and there'll be days where that part of the brain has been eaten away by this disease, that they can't recognize themselves, or they can't recognize their family, or they might have behaviors all of a sudden because they can't find the words to tell you what they need, or they can't express their needs to you in the way that they used to, that you could understand. They start to get frustrated, and so their behaviors change. They attempt other ways of showing you that this is not what they want, or they need this, and they're not getting it. And as the disease progresses, they have less and less ways of communicating to you what they actually need. So for them, it becomes more and more frustrating. They become more agitated. All these things that they may not have been before. They may have been very calm people, very joyful people. And to all of a sudden see them changing so much in their behavior. But when I look at that person, I still see the spirit of that person. It's still in there. To me, I always think of it like a person that's in a coma, and they say, oh, they're not there anymore just because they look like they're sleeping. And yet so many people have woken up from a coma to say that they could hear you. They knew you were there. They could hear what you were saying. So somewhere inside, that person with dementia, that person is still in there. Somewhere inside. That person hasn't gone anywhere. They're still there. So we should never dismiss and treat them like they're an empty shell. Because there'll be days where they have their lucid days where they remember you. They remember their family. They remember who they were. And then, it might be for a few minutes and it's gone. But they're there. There's still a person in there. There's still a spirit in there. Until the very end. That spirit is still in there, that soul, if you wish. And they may not be able to communicate to you anymore the way they used to. But they know that you're there. They know it. They can sense it. They can feel it. And you look in their eyes, and sometimes there's like an empty glaze. Don't look, you know. There's like there's nobody home. But then there's moments throughout the day where they are definitely there, and they're looking back at you. Remember me? I'm still here. You know? So I think it's because we don't understand it that we seem to take to it like it's a sad thing that we're losing that person, instead of using it as an opportunity that we can actually say goodbye to that person. If they suddenly died of a heart attack overnight, you know, which happens to a lot of people, then there's that shock of, oh my, all of a sudden that person's not there anymore. You know? And you kind of have to get over that grief of you never got to say goodbye, you never got to say all the things you wanted to say. And that's what all my videos are about. You have to think to yourself, what if this is your last day? Say what you want to say. Say what you need to say. Let that person know. Don't expect that they know. You know, because for the longest time, and well into up until my late 30s, I didn't know that my mum loved me. I didn't know. Because the love that she expressed for my sister, to me, was very different to the love that I got from her. And so for the longest time, I thought, yes, she was giving my sister all her love, but she didn't have any for me. That was my view of my mum. You know, we never, at home, we hardly ever said, I love you. I would have said it many, many times to my dad after his heart attack, because I honestly thought he was, you know, his heart was broken because no one was telling him that they loved him. How could he not know that we loved him so much? You know? So don't assume that the other person knows that you love them, because I've been through it. I've spent most of my life thinking that I wasn't loved. And it took a series of events in which I woke up and I realized I was. She just wasn't expressing it in a way. My mum wasn't expressing it in a way that I understood that I was loved. So you want to make sure, if it's your kids or if it's your parents, whoever it is, you know, unless you tell them and you look at them and you know each time you see them, you have that exchange of, I love you. You need to know that. You are important to me. You mean something to me. I appreciate that you're in my life. Or I appreciate that you gave me life. You know, if it's a parent. Don't assume that the other person knows, ever. So if today's one of those days, if this message gets to you and you're watching this right now, there's a reason for it. There's someone out there that you need to talk to. There's someone that you need to tell. That they mean everything to you, that you love them with all your heart. You need to tell them, because they may not know, just like I didn't know. You know, not a day goes by that I don't tell my daughter how much I love her or how beautiful she is to me. Every day, and to my husband and to the people around me. Because what if that's my last day? I want those to be my last words. Words of love. You know, not words of criticism or what they did wrong or what they didn't do or oh, we're going into that in the next video, okay? But words of love. Tell people what they mean to you, that they have meaning in your life, that they're important, that you love them. Tell them. Let them know. Don't expect them to know. Because you may think, oh, I've done everything. It's obvious that I love you. But they may not know that. All right, my darlings, I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe below so you don't miss any of the messages, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.